Migo team, Odongauto, political philosopher. Misleading actually to try. And a few actually youth. Olara Otunu, Dr. Ambassador Olara Otunu. He has a very big CV. Olara Otunu's CV cannot be reduced into tribal conversation. Neo, Baganda, who actually. No, you cannot reduce Olara Otunu's conversation. Olara Otunu's CV into a tribal conversation. I am very disappointed by the to Honorable Odonga Oto, political philosopher. You cannot be this petty. Olara Otunu, Dr. Ambassador Olara Otunu is the best Uganda has. He's the best Uganda has had. Is the best Uganda has. Is the best Uganda will have. That one is not a conversation. But that is not because he's an Acoli. The great ambassador has worked hard for whatever CV he carries. He has worked so hard. And it is not because he's an Acoli. No, 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 no. So if we are fronting Ambassador Olara Otunu to UN, we cannot front him on tribal basis that he's an Acoli. No. He was not sent there by the paramount chief. Road Pacholi Olara Otunu UN. No, 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 no. And he's not there to represent or air out the issues of Acoli. No. He was sent there by Uganda, endorsed by the president of Uganda. So he's there to represent Uganda, not actually as a tribe. That is where you're losing it. So it doesn't matter who the candidate would be. There would be a group that would oppose his candidature. And the reason is clear, the reason some people are giving. You see, the reason some people are giving is this. Dr. Ambassador Olara Otunu, the great ambassador, he was in Gulu. He was in northern Uganda, chilling. He was enjoying life. He was in community, doing community work until President Museveni called him. Museveni called Dr. Olara Otunu and sent him to UN. But we all recall that previously the same Museveni had refused Olara Otunu. And it is a great gesture that people who were rivals have finally found a sitting ground. But now this is where people are worried. People are saying the great ambassador is a principled man. That we all know. He has a very heavy CV. That we all know. He has worked so much for his name. His CV cannot be reduced to a tribe as an Acoli. No one is disputing that he's an Acoli. But we are saying, we cannot say the only reason is we are sending him to UN is because he's an Acoli. No, 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 no. It cannot work like that. People are saying, right now, you need to know that everyone who is against Museveni's family rule has tried all they can to make sure Museveni is isolated by the international community. And the image of the current government is unprecedentedly very bad. And Museveni is doing all he can to make sure that his name and the name of his government is painted otherwise. That's why we are sending army to the Middle East, a place where very many countries would refuse to send their own people. But we are seeing we are risking it all because we want the favors of the white man. That's what the current government is doing. So people are saying, there's that group saying that it doesn't matter who the candidate would be, as long as he's sent by Museveni, he's going to dance to the tunes of Museveni. And we know that right now UN has very bad records of Uganda. They are saying now, if we have the Secretary General as a Ugandan who was sent by Museveni, who was in fact called by Museveni because he was doing his things, he was not into this thing right now. He had left. When Museveni refused to endorse him, he left. And he was busy helping the community in Acoli. People are saying, such a man, won't he be very loyal to Museveni and help to sanitize his name? And help to tell the world a different image of Museveni? And help to hide that there is no abductions happening in the country? Help to hide that there is no persecution happening in the country? There is no unrest happening in the country? That's the fears that people are having. People are not disputing Olara Otunu's CV. He's a very good man. I don't see a man in Uganda that you can put beside Olara Otunu who has such a CV. But that is not because he's an Acoli. The man worked hard for his CV. Boss Miko team and Odongauto do not disappoint people by reducing the great ambassador's CV to a tribal conversation. People who are saying the man has not been speaking about the injustices in Uganda, bring out videos because they are there. Tell them the history because they don't know. Tell them this is one man who has been here from the time of Amin, in the times of Museveni, the one man who has been lobbying for the people of Acoli, the one man who has been fighting against the injustice, against the genocide that this current government imposed on to Acoli. Tell them, but do not begin saying, he's an Acoli. The people of Uganda are fighting us. Of all those people you're seeing making noise on media, which of them is in the Buganda government? Because Buganda has a government, they have a spokesperson. They do not represent Buganda. They do not represent NUP, the party. They hold no political position in NUP. You see, me being a Catholic, when I give my opinion, I don't represent all Catholics. I don't represent Catholic as a religion. So you getting one man and saying whatever he's speaking for NUP. Whatever he's speaking for Buganda. So now you're waging a war against Buganda. You guys, Odongato is a political philosopher, at least by education, we know that he studied and has those papers. He's a PhD holder. So we expect him to reason beyond that. We expect him to be among the people guiding the discussion. To tell them, you guys, you're lying. This Olara Otunu you see is this. But don't begin saying, he's an Acoli. He must go. No. Even if Museveni had put a Muganda as his candidate, trust me, people would still come out and say, no, there will be people who will say no. Given that this person is being fronted by Museveni, he will be very loyal to Museveni. He will help sanitize. They will cover Museveni. We had war in northern Uganda over 20 years. But are you surprised that most of the Western world did not know that there was genocide happening in northern Uganda? Even going to the Western world is far. People in Central, some up to now still think it is a propaganda. They think it was propaganda. There was active war happening. If not because of documentaries that are there now showing men that were sodomized by military of the current government, some would still think it is propaganda. That is how much Museveni hid information from the world. So take time, teach people, because people who are arguing against Olara Otunu's candidature are bringing videos. You also bring videos. Bring them history. Odongatu is old enough, he knows history. In fact, he's among people who should be having podcasts every week telling us history of Acoli, teaching the youth of Acoli. Because you guys are misdirecting the country. Who does not know the enemy of Acoli? Is it the Baganda that are taking land in Acoli? The Balalos we are crying about, are they Baganda? The guns in Acoli, are they being brought by Baganda? The leaders in Acoli are all NRM. When the land in Acoli is taken, do you hear them speaking? Who is shutting their mouth? Is it Baganda? No. You see, the elders should teach the children the right enemy of Acoli. Because if you know the right enemy, right now your land is being taken in hectares. There are people there owning almost half a district, and they are not Baganda. But you are directing the conversation away. And that is the nonsense you guys keep bringing up. When the late Paul Lokech was killed, because they said he died of blood clot, a young general, a young army commander, that he died of blood clot. This government said so. And you know what these same opinion leaders were bringing? They were saying the Baganda are laughing at Lokech instead of telling people that this killed Paul Lokech. They always divert the conversation to Baganda. You want to say you guys do not know the right enemy, the real enemy of the Acoli people? Who brought Paul Lokech back from Somalia to kill unarmed civilian citizens of Uganda? And the headline was, "Before you hit the street, prepare your graves." Who said those words? And who was giving him the courage? You see, Paul Lokech was used. They brought him to kill unarmed Ugandan civilian citizens. And he was so bold. This is an army commander who had made his CV. He had fought for this country. But after them using him, because they wanted to cleanse themselves, they don't want to get any strings attached, they eliminated him, that by blood clot. Paul Lokech, an army commander, Lion of Mogadishu, that he was sitting on a plastic chair or standing on a plastic chair at his home. Then he fell and injured his ankle. Then a blood clot from there traveled to his lungs. And really, when the late Honorable, Right Honorable Speaker Jacob Olaranya was killed, he was killed. You know what happened? No, but Mao was the one who initiated the tribal sentiment. He's the one who initiated the tribal conversation. Oh, the Baganda, because Ugandans went to the hospital where Jacob Olaranya was being treated, and they were protesting and saying, no, 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 you're part of this government. You've refused to build hospitals home. Why don't you do treatment from home? And it has not only happened to Olaranya. Is it Amama Mbabazi? There's one other person who was, people also protested outside the hospital where he was being treated. And it is not tribal, but Norbert Mao was the first to initiate that the Baganda do not want the son of Acoli to be treated. And they totally diverted the conversation from who killed Jacob Olaranya to Baganda. Can you imagine? They always find that tribal topic, they always bring it up to divert conversation. Instead of telling people of Acoli, the real enemy of Acoli, you cannot say you don't know. What happened to the leaders that we had back then? Because back then the leaders of Acoli were so solid. When they said this, they have said this. You will not press them down. But the ones of today, they have all submitted. They are all there just praising Muhozi. They are all just there. We have Liliana Bay is the minister of disaster. You're seeing people dying in Karamoja. Have you heard her speak anything? The only thing she did was make one post when the cabinet was having a meeting to see what to do for Karamoja. They distributed food once, food that could not last for a week for one family. They don't come out. All the leaders of Acoli, you know, the ones who are speaking now, Gilbert Olaranya is the only leader of Acoli you can say you have. Then you have Boss Migotim is here, there. But Boss Migotim is an opinion leader. He can direct the conversation right. But he's also here trying to pull the tribal card. It is very unfortunate. Because it is very difficult to find wisdom in Acoli besides Boss Migotim. The bravery he has. They can drive this conversation rightly and directly, but do not come that you're fighting for son of the soil. No, you're fighting for the best candidate. Tell the world why he's the best candidate. In fact, this conversation is even beyond all of you guys. It is now Olara Otunu himself who needs to come out and tell Ugandans that no, guys, even if I was endorsed by General Museveni, I'm not going to be loyal to him. I'm not going to be submissive. I will not be his dog. It is now him to come and tell the world that you man, when you go there, are you not going to hide the injustices happening in your country? Because right now you have the president of Uganda Law Society in exile. He has been operating from exile. Will Olara Otunu speak about those things? Because UN has been speaking about them. The injustices, human rights abuses that are happening. It is Olara Otunu to come and tell the world that, guys, I am a principled man that you all know, and I will not bow down. I will perform my duty. But when you bring Olara Otunu's entire CV and you zero it down to a tribal conversation, you're breaking the man, because we are seeing him. We have been watching him, by the way, greatly improving in the UN. Are you not following the straw poll The guy is really improving. But when now you want to bring his, this is very disappointing, by the way.